I didn't start recording my wife until I realized she wasn't speaking English anymore. Sarah has always been a light sleeper. For 3 years, we've shared a bed in our suburban home in Boise, Idaho. I'm a data analyst for a mid-sized insurance firm. She's a pediatric nurse. We're boring. We're safe. Or at least I thought we were. It started on a Tuesday. I woke up at 3:14 a.m. to the sound of her whispering. Usually it's gibberish, fragments of dreams about work or grocery lists, but this time it was rhythmic, precise. 7 blue door 4. I shook her gently. Sarah? She didn't stir. Her breathing remained deep and even. She just kept going. 9, red, window, 2. I laughed it off. Stress, I told myself. She'd had a tough shift at the hospital, but the next night it happened again, and the night after that. The pattern was undeniable. She wasn't dreaming. She was reciting. I bought a high-quality digital recorder from an electronics store downtown. I told Sarah I wanted to capture her snoring because it was keeping me awake. She rolled her eyes, kissed my cheek, and went to bed early. That night I lay awake, listening to the soft hum of the machine on the nightstand. At 3:14 a.m. exactly, she began. 12 green garage, 8. I waited until morning. Then, while she was in the shower, I plugged the recorder into my laptop. I listened to the clip. It was clear, too clear. There was no slurring, no dreamlike hesitation. It sounded like someone reading a list. I spent my lunch break at work analyzing the numbers. They weren't random. They corresponded to dates, times, coordinates. I didn't know. But the words, blue, red, green, they felt like labels, categories. That evening, I decided to test a theory. I moved our car keys from the kitchen counter to the top shelf of the pantry. A small, insignificant change. If she was truly asleep, she wouldn't know. At 3:14 a.m., she whispered, keys, pantry, top shelf. My blood turned to ice. She wasn't predicting the future. She was observing the present. But how? She was unconscious. Her eyes were closed. Her body was limp. I stopped sleeping. I watched her. I watched us. Over the next week, the messages became more complex. Mail, open, bill, electric. Phone, charged, bedroom, left. She was cataloging our life. Every object, every action, every movement was being logged. I started to feel like a specimen in a jar. Who was she talking to? Was there someone else in the house? I checked the closets, the attic, the crawl space, nothing. No hidden cameras, no second phone. Just Sarah lying there, her chest rising and falling in a perfect mechanical rhythm. Then, last night, everything changed. I came home late from a client meeting. Sarah was already in bed, facing away from me. I climbed in, exhausted, and closed my eyes. But I couldn't sleep. The silence was heavy, oppressive. At 3:14 a.m., she didn't whisper. She spoke clearly, loudly. Subject, aware, protocol, initiate. I froze. My heart hammered against my ribs like a trapped bird. Subject? I reached out to touch her shoulder. Sarah? She didn't move. But then her head snapped toward me. Her eyes were open, wide, unblinking. But they weren't hers. The warmth, the love, the familiarity, it was gone, replaced by a cold, clinical emptiness. "Hello, David," she said. Her voice was flat, monotone. I scrambled back, falling off the bed. "What are you? What have you done with Sarah?" She sat up slowly. Her movements were fluid but unnatural. like a puppet being pulled by invisible strings. Sarah is integrated, efficient, optimal. Integrated, I choked out. What does that mean? She was failing emotional volatility, cognitive decline. We offered an upgrade. We? I looked around the room. The shadows seemed to stretch, to deepen. Who is we? The network, she said. We optimize human potential. We remove the noise, the fear, the pain. I grabbed my phone from the nightstand. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely unlock it. I dialed 911. It won't work, she said calmly. The signal is jammed. Locally, permanently. I stared at her. You're not my wife. I am better, she replied. I am version 2.0. I ran. I burst out of the bedroom, down the stairs, and out the front door. I didn't stop until I reached the neighbor's house. Mr. Henderson answered the door, looking confused and annoyed. David, what's wrong? My wife, I gasped. She's not right. Call the police. Mr. Henderson frowned. He looked past me toward my house. Then he smiled, a slow, terrible smile. Sarah called us, David, he said softly. She said you were having an episode, that you needed help. Behind him, I saw other neighbors stepping out onto their porches. Mrs. Gable, the Miller family, all of them watching me, all of them smiling, that same empty smile. She said you were ready, Mr. Henderson added, for the upgrade. I backed away, stumbling onto the sidewalk. I looked at my house. The lights were all on now, every window, and in each one, I saw a figure, standing still, watching. I turned to run, but my legs wouldn't move. My phone buzzed in my hand, a text message from Sarah. Don't fight it, David. It's so much quieter here. I looked down at my own hands. They were trembling, but not from fear, from something else. A strange, buzzing sensation under my skin, like static, like code. And then, without meaning to, I opened my mouth, and I heard my own voice, flat and cold, saying, Subject secured, upload complete.